Distinguished colleagues, on behalf of Agate Defense Center for Women with Disabilities NGO in Armenia, I want to warmly greet all the organizers and participants of the World Assembly of Women with Disabilities 2022. I'm going to share with you today the situation of women and girls with disabilities in Armenia during COVID-19. As everywhere in the world, the same in Armenia, the global COVID-19 pandemic has overwhelmed education, employment, and health systems even more, deepened inequalities. It has more than ever highlighted the need for comprehensive measures to ensure the accessibility of health systems, improve preparedness to fight the pandemic, as well as services to provide quality services to women with all types of disabilities who face violence and abuse. COVID-19 had a significant impact on the ability of women and girls with disabilities to meet their basic needs, achieve an adequate standard of living, and live independently because of the issues related to employment and income, access to support services and assistive devices, access to public transportation, assistance from friends, family, and the public. During COVID-19, more than ever, many girls and women with disabilities suffer domestic and sexual violence due to highlighted tensions in their homes and closed institutions. The survivors of violence face additional obstacles to flee their violent situations from or to access protective orders of essential services. They can save their lives to the practice because of lockdown and quarantine. The economic impact of pandemic created additional barriers to live a violent domestic situation and created higher risk of sexual exploitation and consequential economic deprivation, especially among women with intellectual disabilities. Women with disabilities in Armenia confront challenges, including the lack of legal capacity, access to sexual and reproductive health services. In addition, there is no research till now or any data available disaggregated by sex and disability on the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on women and girls with disabilities. Due to state emergency-related COVID pandemic, education has shifted in Armenia to distance education. Because of this, the education of girls was most affected. In particular, the rights of girls with hearing, visual, and intellectual disabilities with quality education. It was undermined. Many girls with disabilities lacking appropriate technology, computer skills, behavioral problems, and other characteristics could not participate in school programs. Teachers did not possess sufficient skills and alternative methods to teach their children with special educational needs. And many girls with disabilities were left out of the virtual educational process, and they did not receive sufficient education. In my view, the role of our organization is twin-tack. On the one hand, we work with women with disabilities who are left behind in society. We empower them and make sure their voices are heard by decision makers. It is very important to build the pipeline of women with disabilities to ensure they have opportunity to be in the high-level positions and influence legislation and policies. On the other hand, we actively advocate on national and international level for the inclusive and effective policies in Armenia. Our organization uses CRPD, CEDAW, UPR, and other international human rights mechanisms to promote the elimination of stigma, discrimination, and restrictive laws and policies and practices in Armenia, and creating favorable equal opportunities and ensuring maximum access of women with disabilities to quality sexual and reproductive health and other mainstream services. Our organization ensures multi-stakeholder partnership and collaborates with mainstream rights-based coalitions, international organizations, and government to promote the creation of strong mechanisms and policies to combat discrimination against women and girls with disabilities. To achieve real equality, it is very crucial to work with all vulnerable groups, including the other women's organizations working with children, with elderly people, LGBT, and different religious groups, so as to have real inclusion in the country. I can proudly mention that finally, thanks to advocacy by our organization and coalition, last year in Armenia, the law on the rights of persons with disabilities was adopted. Dear colleagues, it is very important to mention that all of us should make sure that the priority of women and girls with disabilities are high on the agenda of the international community and ensure sustainable funding addressing the rights of persons living with disabilities. We think and should take lessons caused by COVID-19 pandemic, and we all should be prepared for the new challenges that might come in future. Thank you very much again for this opportunity, and I wish good luck to all presenters of the most Assembly of Women with Disabilities.